This is the story of a man who's lost almost everything to his gambling addiction. The film begins at a racetrack where horses are mid-race, and in the crowd, we meet Kang, a man cheering wildly alongside his friends. Today, he's bet all his money on horse number 8. Against the odds, that horse wins, and Kang celebrates, pocketing his winnings. Fueled by luck and adrenaline, he heads straight to a casino to gamble even more. That's when we realize Kang isn't just a casual gambler, he's addicted. He keeps winning round after round, and with every win, his greed deepens. He starts betting higher, chasing that high. From a distance, the owner of the casino, Mr. Ryu, watches Kang with suspicion. Kang is accompanied by 2 people, his Uncle Riva and his loyal friend Fat Dog. They're both cheering him on, though Uncle Riva warns Kang to stop while he's ahead. But Kang, drunk on luck and arrogance, refuses. In the next hand, he's dealt a strong set of cards, strong enough to make him go all in. With absolute confidence, Kang bets everything he has. But fate turns cruel. His opponent reveals better cards and sweeps the table. Just like that, Kang loses everything. Furious and humiliated, he storms out of the casino. Ironically, it's New Year's Eve, and the whole city is celebrating, except him. As he walks through the festive crowd, he runs into someone he hadn't seen in a long time, his ex-wife, Millie. The encounter stuns him. He freezes for a moment, overwhelmed, then walks away in silence. The next morning, we see Kang at his salon, lighting a cigarette and waiting anxiously by the window. His friend Fat Dog asks if he's expecting a visit from the loan shark who's due to collect. Kang assures him there's no need to worry. Uncle Riva had stashed away some money from last night's games. Not enough to pay the loan, but enough to cover the interest. Suddenly, a customer named Lee enters, a childhood classmate of Kang's. He's there for a haircut before a big date. But Kang, always sarcastic, tells him that his hair isn't salvageable and offers a wig instead, joking that the girl will be more impressed with that. Just then, Millie shows up again, this time with a serious look on her face. Kang clearly isn't happy to see her and asks her to leave, but she refuses. She says she's not alone today. She's brought their son with her. Kang instantly denies any connection. After all, the child was born after their divorce. But Millie insists, he is your son. To prove it, she hands over DNA test results and says Kang can verify them at the hospital. But Kang, uneducated and defensive, dismisses everything. Millie then explains the real reason she came. She has to travel for 1 month and needs Kang to take care of their son during that time. To convince him, she even offers 1 lakh rupees for the month. At first, Kang flatly refuses. But the moment he hears about the money, he changes his mind. Before leaving, Millie requests that he give their son, Park, a proper haircut. But Kang, unwilling to do it himself, hands the task over to Uncle Riva. As soon as Uncle Riva begins cutting Park's hair, the boy suddenly bolts from the chair and starts running around the salon. Park insists that he'll only get a haircut from his father, but Kang wants nothing to do with it. Fat Dog and the others try to force the boy into the chair, but Park resists violently, knocking things over and causing chaos. Confused by his behavior, everyone wonders what's wrong with the kid. That's when Lee, who works as a school teacher, picks up on something the others can't see. Park isn't an ordinary child. He calmly tells everyone to stop chasing him. The more you corner him, Lee says, the more he'll act out. Meanwhile, we see Millie sitting on a bus, headed somewhere far away. As she scrolls through photos on her phone, her mind drifts back into the past, back to the man she once loved. We enter a flashback, and the truth behind their divorce is revealed. Kang was already deep into gambling back then. One day, when Millie tried to stop him, the argument escalated. In a burst of rage, Kang yelled at her, even splashing water on her face. Hurt and heartbroken, Millie packed her bags and left that very night. Hours later, Kang regretted everything and ran out to stop her, but fate had other plans. On the way, he was intercepted by loan sharks who'd been searching for him. They beat him up brutally for the unpaid debt, and Millie vanished from his life. Back in the present, Lee returns to the salon, this time with a woman named Miss Yuko, a kind-hearted social worker from an NGO. Lee wants her to assess Park. Observing Park's actions, Yuko immediately identifies his condition. He's autistic. Thankfully, his case isn't extreme. She explains that autistic children often rely on strict routines, which is why Park has several alarms set on his phone, reminders for eating, going to school, and more. As she continues her assessment, Fat Dog takes a look at Park's school ID and jokes that the kid might be their lucky charm. His astrological number is 8, considered very fortunate in Chinese culture. But Yuko isn't amused. She can tell these men are careless and unfit to care for a child with special needs. She suggests sending Park to a proper shelter where trained professionals can look after him. However, Kang has already taken advance money from Millie, 1 lakh rupees, and reluctantly decides to keep Park with him. That night, after closing the salon, Kang takes Park to his messy, cluttered home. It's nothing like what a child needs. Still, he hands the boy a packet of instant noodles and casually tells him to cook it himself if he gets hungry. Then Kang sneaks off to the casino with the advance cash, hoping to win big. Surprisingly, he has a great night, winning most of the games. The next morning, Kang returns home, tired, but in a good mood. What he sees shocks him. Park has cleaned the entire place. Everything is spotless, organized, and in place. Kang can't believe it. For the first time, he smiles and thinks, maybe this kid is actually useful. Just then, one of Park's alarms goes off. It's time for his meal. Kang, still riding his high from the casino, decides to treat the boy to a proper meal. They go out to a restaurant, and after lunch, they stop by a massage parlor. Kang even brings a deck of cards to test if Park truly brings him luck. Sure enough, every time Park picks a card, it's the best one in the deck. Convinced now, Kang takes Park to the casino with him that very night. With Park's help, Kang wins several small games. But then, another alarm goes off on Park's phone. It's bedtime. Kang tries to convince the boy to stay longer, but autistic children thrive on routine. Park insists on going home, forcing Kang to leave the casino early. A few hours later, Kang wakes up to find loan sharks in his house. Their boss, Tezzy, knows Kang has been winning at the casino recently and demands repayment. Left with no choice, Kang hands over all his winnings to clear the debt. The next night, Kang wants to take Park back to the casino, but the boy refuses. Despite all efforts to convince him, Park doesn't budge. So, Kang goes alone. This time, luck betrays him. He loses everything, even more than before, and sinks deeper into debt. Back home, Park, now alone, sees a rat. Terrified by the rat, Park panics and starts swinging a broom wildly around the house, trying to drive it out. In the chaos, he ends up knocking over furniture and breaking several things. When Kang returns home a few hours later and sees the mess, he explodes in rage. Having already lost a lot of money in gambling the night before, he completely loses control. Furious, he starts shouting at Park and even hits him with a belt. In the scuffle, Park's phone, his lifeline, falls to the ground. As he bends down to retrieve it, his head crashes into a table, leaving a deep gash. Realizing the seriousness of the injury, Kang rushes him to the hospital. Lee and Yuko arrive there as well, shocked to see Park hurt. Yuko turns to Lee and says, "Your friend is reckless. He's not capable of taking care of this child. It's better we put Park in a proper shelter." Even Lee, who had once defended Kang, now loses his temper. He lashes out, blaming Kang's gambling addiction for the child's suffering. Unable to face the truth, Kang storms out of the hospital. He heads to a mobile repair shop to fix Park's broken phone. While the technician works, Kang scrolls through the phone's gallery and finds dozens of pictures of Millie and himself. The memories come flooding back. He remembers the first time he met Millie. She was a passionate social worker who had brought a troubled young boy to Kang's shelter, a place where Kang helped reform addicted and delinquent kids. That very boy had stolen a wallet, and Millie scolded him, but Kang calmly intervened, saying, "You don't deal with kids like these through anger, but with patience." Later, when a local thug harassed Millie, Kang showed up just in time and protected her. Slowly, the bond between them grew deeper. One day, Kang proposed to her, and Millie, already falling for him, said yes. The story shifts back to the present. Kang returns home, guilt-ridden, and sincerely apologizes to Park. From that day forward, he begins treating the boy with care and respect. As days pass, their bond becomes stronger, just like a real father and son. They enjoy each other's company, and Kang even quits gambling. One afternoon, as they sit together in a restaurant, sharing a meal of noodles, Kang looks at Park and gently asks, "Do you know who your father is?" Park pauses, then quietly says, "I used to ask Mom about him, but she'd always get angry, so I stopped asking." Kang always knew the boy was his, but had refused to accept the truth to avoid responsibility. Now, looking at the boy who had changed his life, he feels that deep connection, something stronger than blood. One day, while they're fooling around in the salon, loan shark Tezzy and his goons arrive unexpectedly. Uncle Riva is surprised to see them again, and Kang tries to explain that he already paid off his debt with his earlier winnings. But he admits that just before Park's injury, he lost everything again. Tezzy's men raid the cash register and take whatever money they find, claiming it as interest. Park, not fully understanding what's happening, gets scared. To him, it looks like they're robbing and threatening Kang. In panic, he picks up a nearby mirror and smashes it over Tezzy's head. Kang immediately realizes how serious things have gotten. He tells Park to run, and then follows him through the streets. The two flee all the way to a nearby hilltop. Lee, having guessed where they might be, arrives there too. Lee suggests they call the police, but Kang shakes his head. It's no use. he says. Knowing things have gone too far, Kang entrusts Park to Lee and returns to his shop alone to face Tezzy. Standing in front of the loan shark, Kang begs for forgiveness, not for himself, but for the child. He pleads, "Please, don't hurt my son. He didn't mean to do it." Unlike other children, Park wasn't exactly normal, but soon, Kang discovers that Taiji's men have captured Park and brought him there. Kang pleads with them desperately, begging them to let Park go, but instead of listening, Taiji beats Kang up badly. As Taiji approaches Park to hurt him, Kang suddenly grabs a razor lying nearby and holds it against Taiji's neck, taking him hostage. Just then, a man enters the scene. It's Ryu, the owner of the casino. Taiji and his men freeze, clearly intimidated by Ryu and his presence. Ryu calmly tells Taiji that this is his favorite salon, the only place he gets his haircut, and that it would be best for everyone if they quietly left without causing a scene. Scared, Taiji and his goons leave. While giving Ryu a haircut, Kang thanks him sincerely. Ryu smiles and says, "Looks like you don't recognize me." That's when Kang realizes Ryu is the same boy he had once taken into his hostel and helped 17 years ago. Knowing this, Kang feels a deep sense of joy. The kindness he showed in the past has come full circle. In the next scene, we see Lee advising Kang to bring Park to a running class. He had noticed earlier how fast Park could run while they were escaping. Kang agrees and takes him to the class, but since Park isn't familiar with anyone there, he struggles to join in. Seeing this, Kang starts running alongside him, and slowly their training becomes less about discipline and more of a fun bonding experience. As days pass, the two of them not only train together, but also enjoy life side by side. One day, while running, Kang gently tells Park that if he wants, he can start calling him Dad. But Park isn't ready yet. Later, while passing a huge LED screen showing images of a desert, Park stops and tells Kang, "That's the place my mom always dreamed of going." With that, 29 days pass. Just one day remains until Millie's return and Park's departure. Before that, Kang gives Park a fresh haircut. As they sit together, Kang asks him how he's feeling. Park quietly says, "I really like being with you all. I don't want to leave." At that moment, their friend Pally arrives with food. But while they're eating, Kang gets a phone call that shakes him to his core. The very next moment, they rush to a hospital where the casino owner, Roy, is already present. There, they learn the heartbreaking truth. Millie had been diagnosed with cancer and had been hospitalized for the past 28 days. That's why she left Park with Kang, so they could form a bond, and so Kang could understand his responsibilities. A few hours later, Millie takes her last breath. After her funeral, Park brings Kang to his home, and looking at the photos on the walls, Kang imagines how much Millie must have struggled to raise Park all by herself. Guilt and regret begin to fill his heart. In the next scene, Ryu visits Kang and hands him a large check. He offers him a job to gamble for their casino in exchange for a house, car, and money. But Kang refuses. He says he no longer wants to live the life of a gambler. He wants to be a responsible father and take care of his son. After Millie's death, Park falls into deep depression, but Kang doesn't give up. Every day, he takes care of Park while also continuing their running practice. Slowly, Park begins to heal, and then comes the day Kang had been waiting for. Park finally calls him Dad. Hearing that, Kang is overwhelmed with emotion because he had truly earned it. Then comes the day of the marathon. Kang participates with Park. At first, they both run together smoothly, but at one sharp turn, Park falls badly and injures himself. He can barely walk. Kang rushes to him, helps him up, and supports him the rest of the way. Together, step by step, they cross the finish line. Winning or losing doesn't matter. What matters is that they crossed it together. A few days later, we see Kang and Park running through a desert. They finally reach a special location, the place Millie had always dreamed of visiting. Kang takes out Millie's ashes from his bag, and together they release them into the wind. In life, she couldn't reach this place, but in death, she finally did. And with that, the story comes to a close.